Welcome to the yoga session. We start the session today on the back in supine position. And today we will explore movement of the body in different planes. What does it mean? Most of our functional movements are in a folding forward and maybe little bit back bends in area of the neck when we look up, when we pick up something from the top shelves. But most of the movements are in the frontal plane. So today we will try to add some twists and some side bends in different asanas, and we will be doing that in closed loop position. That's why we prepared the resistance band or strap. We'll be just holding that to connect the arms, so we'll see where we have restrictions, how that feels in a body to move. And as we are on this supine position, I would invite you to scan the body from the heels all the way to the crown of the head. You maybe want to release your arms also to be on the side of the body. And as you scan in the body, notice which part of the body touching the floor. And just build some awareness of the posterior chain of the body, all those muscles of the back of the body that we don't really see, and sometimes not even aware how important are they for the body. So on the floor in this relaxed position, just notice the calves, the glutes, the mid back, even triceps will be touching the floor. And visualize your spine that is also released on the floor. Scan the sensations of the spine, how you feel right now, and we will compare the sensations after the practice again. So as you scan in your spine, maybe you're noticing a little bit of a tightness in some areas. Maybe you feel a little bit uncomfortable lying on the floor right now. Just to collect those sensations and keep them in the corner of your mind to come to them later in the end of the practice. Scan the front of the body as well. And just become aware of the frontal body muscles, quads, abdomen, chest muscle, biceps, all those muscles that we working and using much more than the back of the body muscles. So quads usually overdeveloped because we're using them almost in every move that we walking or climbing the stairs. Biceps will be involved to carry stuff around. Chest might be used to press, push something. Yeah, so just scan the front of the body. Just become aware of the front of the body sensations this morning. And from here, we'll take a couple of breaths through the nostrils in, through the nostrils out. Developing the comfortable pace of the breathing that I will invite you to use. for the rest of the practice. And when you're ready, add some movements and toes and fingers. Start moving your ankles and the wrists. And when you're ready, bend your knees and start rocking from the head to the hips. And when you're ready, come into seated position. And in seated position, set your legs in a wide, open, Upavishta Konasana position. And when you come here, notice that your toes are opened out, so you have your external rotation. More you're able to externally rotate your hips, more space you will have to keep your spine straight. Bring your hands behind the hips and just think of pressing the chest forward and up and elongate through the spine. And we'll move the head from side to side a couple of times. Pretty slow. Even you can hold if you're noticing one side of the neck holds more tension. And then return the chin back to the center. Just rotate the chin from side to side several times, trying to keep the chin parallel to the floor. Again, go as slow as you can and try to just drop the gaze behind the back and notice maybe on one side you see behind yourself a little bit further, and return back to the center. And here we'll release the hands out to the front and around the spine, so you are coming into the flex spine position, including the neck, like someone is punching you into the belly. And then move forward, bring the hands behind, lift the chin up, squeeze the shoulder blades, keep stretching the front of the chest, front of the shoulders. Let's do it again. Bring the hands on the knees and round the spine. So a very similar movement, what we're doing, a cat and dog stretch here. And then again, lift the chin. But when you're lifting the chin, don't overextend the neck. Don't compress it too much. And one more time, around the spine. Press the chin down, and then open the chest. And then try to come into as straight spine position as possible. And let us pick up our band or strap or even scarf, anything. And let's lift it overhead. So when you lift it overhead, try your best not to be rounded like we just practiced, but press the chest up and get length and in the spine. Try to keep your chin parallel to the floor, and let's go toward the right side. So try not to drop your arms, but keep the arms symmetrically on the sides of the head, but bring your gaze toward your left hand. And just keep pressing the band that probably for some of you are fallen in front of your head behind. And just notice where you feel restrictions. And then here, you can slide your right hand on the band till you reach the floor. And bring your right hand to the floor. Bring the band slightly behind the head and press the left arm back as much as it feels right for you. You feel stretch on the front of the left shoulder, and of course you're feeling a lot of the stretch in the left side of your torso. Release the left arm in front of the head and just come back into the center and just sit for the moment. Okay, let us try to build this on the other side. So take the band overhead and let's go toward the left side. So first you're trying to keep the arm symmetrically on the sides of the head. So not dropping the left arm low and not bending the right elbow, but bring your gaze toward your right hand. Try to keep the band above the head, not in front, if it's possible for you. You might release the band if it needed. And then you can slide your left hand a little bit lower on the band, bring it to the floor, and take your right arm behind the head and feel some stretch in front of the right shoulder, feel some stretch in front of the stretch on the right side of the rib cage. And let's release the right arm in front and come back into the centered position. Sit here for the moment. You definitely have more awareness on the side of the body. This time we're going to bring the band in front. You're holding that, so you don't need to stretch it. You're just holding that to connect to the hands, maybe shoulder width or a little bit wider. Make sure that you engage in your legs, so you flexing your feet, so you're locking your hips here, lengthening through the spine, and let's twist to the right. And you're trying to align your nose, the center of the chest, with the center of the band between the hands. So you have a very limited twist here. So you're not moving your arms behind. You're just rotating the upper body, and the band is here to connect your hands, but also give you some reference of how far you're twisting to comparison to alignment of your hips. Return back to the center, and let's go to the other side. So you might feel a temptation to stretch your left arm to the left and bring the right arm, but I would ask you to control that your shoulders still align with the band, your nose aligned with the center, and you're twisting through the thoracic spine only. And return back to the center, release the band, and here we'll just fold forward very passively, dropping the head, keeping relaxed shoulders. So allowing us to have a bit of a passive stretch here for all the posterior muscles. You feel probably tightness arising in calves, hamstrings, along the spine, along the neck. Exhale, and let's come back into seated position to bring the band in front of the mat. Cross your ankles and let us come into the child pose. So come with a little bit wider knees position. Stretch your arms forward. So we already open up a bit of a chest and shoulders. So here, try to be active with your arms, walking fingers away, and try your best to come with the chest toward the floor. That will force your shoulders, again, front of the shoulders and the chest to be stretched here. So it's like you are forcing your thoracic spine to come into back bend, into extension, and just hear what is available for you. Some of you might not be able to touch the floor with the forehead. That's okay, so keep yourself high. Just open the sides of the body. And let's from here walk the hands to the left. You might hold your right wrist. And when I say pull, it's not really something that you're actively doing, but you emphasizing the stretch around the right armpit, around the right side of the rib cage, keeping the hips are still square, are still anchored toward the floor. Come back to the center. Take a breath here. You might compare the sensation on the right and the left shoulder and armpit, and then walk your hands to the right. You can hold your left wrist, trying to collapse with the left shoulder down, feeling probably a little bit more resistance on this side. Usually this side is tighter, we use it less, but it's a very unique body of yours, and it could be a bit of different sensations. And let's return back to the center again. Just try to elongate and notice, hopefully, that you created a little bit more space and you feel a little bit more comfortable here to send your chest down to the floor. And let's look forward and bring your hands back closer. Come to the tabletop position. If you feel you want to stretch your knees, so stretch the legs there, and from when you're ready, let's go for the couple of a cat and dog stretch. So when we were seated and we were moving the torso, our hips were locked, so we were very limited in movement of the pelvis. Here, please use the full range of the pelvic movement to tuck the tailbone toward the space between the knees, and then lift it up. Invite your head to move with you. Engage the abdomen muscles when you're coming into the cat stretch to press the spine up toward the ceiling. Let's finish the last one here. And let us come to the downward dog. So maybe step the hands a little bit more forward, tuck your toes, and press the hips up and back, and lengthen through the spine. Pedal your heels. Feel a little bit more stretch on the calves here, on the heel, around the heels, hamstrings. So here we're just letting the knees rest a bit, and then let's drop the knees down to the floor, and this time stepping the right foot forward into the 90-90 lunge. If you need some support for the knee, please have some support for the knee. And in a 90-90 position, you have your front knee 90 degree and the back knee 90 degree on the floor. If you're finding that for balance you need to tuck the back toes like that, you're more than welcome to do so. So make sure that you find in your neutral pelvis position, and we'll bring the band in front of the chest, and we'll go into the twist to the right. So here we have a hips even more locked position, and just notice how when you come to the right, you have temptation to compensate that by dropping the right knee in. Try to maintain your knees straight, and again, you're aligning the chest and shoulders with this space and the center of the band. And let's return back to the center. Maintain yourself on the center, and let's go to the left. So here, because the left hip is in this open position, you feel much more space to rotate. So it's like almost your pelvis is rotating to the left. That's okay, allow that. And just notice how you need to hold your balance, how you need to use your core muscles to hold the balance here in this twist. And return back to the center. Let's just change the leg so the knees will rest. Step the left foot forward, and again, if you need, tuck your back toe for a better balance. Maintain a neutral spine. Bring the band in front of the chest, and let's twist to the left, aligning. So shoulders still aligned with the hands, so you're not moving your hands away from the alignment of the shoulders. Keep using your right glute to stabilize yourself here. The core is working. Return back to the center and go to the right. So here we also have temptation to just pull the arm here. We might do that later, but now just check how far you're twisting, how your hips allows you to twist. Yes, you can move with the hips. So understand that when you're in an open position of the hips, you have more range to rotate. And return back to the center and release. And all what we're doing is a very basic movement, but we are performing today them mindfully and learning a little bit more of the body movements. Come back with the right knee in front, so come into the left knee, and this time we're going to take the band overhead. And if you're finding that you are not balanced, you're welcome to have your right foot a little bit to the right, so having a bit of a space between the left knee and the foot, so having more balance here. And let's go into the right side bend. So again, try not to drop your right arm. Keep arms as much as possible symmetrically on the sides of the head, and just hold here. So you feel a stretch on the left area of the waist, but you, at the same time, you need to maintain your balance. So you feel that you all the time need to be engaged in your core muscles to hold the balance. Return back to the center. And let's go to the other side. You definitely feel more space to go to the left, right? But you now feel that you need to ground your right foot to hold the balance. And return back to the center. Let's change the knees. Again, a step in the left foot forward. Bringing the arms overhead. And let's go to the left. Hold here, control. Come back to the center and go to the right. Feel like it's much easier. You have more space to come to the right, but you need to be grounded through the left foot to rotate. And come back to the center. Release the band on the front and come to another downward dog. And from this downward dog, look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Hang here for the moment, and then pick up your band and very slowly come up into standing position. Exhale. So let us in standing position set the feet hip distance. And again, we're gonna do basically same movement, but now with a different position of the legs. Now we are in standing. So let's start with the twist and have the band in front of the chest. Before we're going to twist, we will engage the glutes, engage the abdomen. So we're not allowing the hips to rotate, and we rotate the upper body only to the right. So hips should be facing the front of the mat. And hold here. So just scan again sensations in the sides of the body, in the hips, in the shoulders, in this position. And now allow the right arm to pull the left arm as far as you can. So just go with your gaze behind, but still keep your hips facing front for this one. And now allow your hips to go with the right arm and rotate as far as you can. Maybe some of you even want to lift your left heel off the floor and be just on the left big toe. So you're basically spiraling here. as far as you go, and stretch, 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 and return back to the center. Let's release the arms just to rest, and we'll practice that on the in stages to the left. So bring the band in front of you and twist to the right. So first you engage in your glutes to lock your hips to face front and hold here, shoulders relaxed. So align the chest and the band. Then from here, without hips yet, move your arms as far as you can. So feeling stretch around the right shoulder, right tricep side of the body, and then allow the body to continue. So the left arm is leading the body into twist, full twist with the hips and even with the right leg. Hold here and return back to the center. Release the arms. So just shake everything. Have a moment here, and we'll take the arms overhead now. Again, the first one, we are locking the hips. So we're not moving the hips, and let's come to the right. So you're not moving the hips to the left. Only the upper body goes to the right. You're trying to align the head between the arms. Hold here, and now allow the left hip to go as far to the left as it feels right for you. Increase the stretch. Try to keep the arms on the sides of the head. Hold here, and then return back and release the arms to rest. Let's do it on the other side. Lift the arms overhead. So first you lock in the hips. Hips are not moving, only the upper body moves to the left. You can drop the head a little bit, don't drop too much. Think of the neck, always continuation of this curve of the spine. And from here, move the hips to the right and increase, 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 increase. Feel the stretch. And return back, release the arms. So now we want to step the left leg in front of the right. So left in front of the right, crossing, yes. Taking the arms overhead, hips are facing front, and let's do this stretch. Notice the difference if you can. So you can move the hips to the left. You might feel a little bit more increase of the stretch around the hip and waist area. And return back to the center, release the arms. Let's step the right foot in front. Take the arms overhead, move the hips to the right, arms to the left, and hold. So try to increase the stretch in the rib cage, not just your arms drop. So allow the hips to go to the right. So really trying to create the arch here. And release back. And this time we'll try to step the left leg behind the right. So your body weight stays on the right leg. You might have just the toes touching the floor behind, right? So the body weight is on the right. So here we had it on the right leg, and here is on the right. So the right leg is straight, taking the arm and trying this stretch. You might feel a little bit more stretch toward the frontal line here, more into the abdomen area. So the left toes just touching, right leg is supporting leg. Yeah, a little bit of different line of stretch. And release the arms. And of course we have to do it on the other side. So the left leg now supported leg, right leg behind. Take the band arms above the head and twist. So you should feel a little bit more toward the frontal side of the right hip here. So not even, you might not feel so much into the waist area like we had before, but more into this around the hip bone. Yes, and let's release. Excellent. So we will put the band down in front of the mat and we'll go through the couple of sun salutations. So we have this awareness of the size of the body. Let us bring that in the sun salutation and emphasize it there. So coming into mountain pose with the arms on the sides of the hips, maybe even close the eyes. Scan the sides of the body and hopefully feel some space here, some awareness. There side of the body, something that have to be tight. It's like a frame, but we should address the tissues there as well. With inhale, lift the arms up and just think of your tall mountain here with arms on the sides of the head, reaching with the tip of the fingers. Bring the palms together and fold forward into the passive fold. Drop your head down, feel stretch on the back of the neck. Let's step the left foot back and we'll drop the left knee down to the floor for the first round. Press the left hip forward. Feel a bit of the hip flexor stretch. Bring the hands on the sides of the knee. Press it forward and just take your arms up. So coming into a bit of a back bend here, and just feel this opening in the shoulders. Hopefully we created some space there with the stretches that we did earlier. Exhale. Bring the hands on the sides of the hips. Move the hips back. Flex the right foot. You can use the block here if you need, but we're not going to be holding this for long. Just to open the right hamstring a little bit more, define stretch here, and then return with the body weight forward, tuck your left toes and step into downward dog. And as you're coming into downward dog right now, I want you to be aware of the size of the body. Draw the line from the base of the palms toward the hip bones, and with all the stretches that we did for the side of the body, allow yourself to feel that your dog body is really lengthening today. Exhale. On inhale, flow into plank, and you can immediately drop your knees and find yourself coming all the way down to the floor. Let's bring one palm on the top of the other. Allow the forehead to rest on the palms, and then maybe separate your legs just a little bit. Point your toes and lift your legs off the floor. And here you are making sure that you're lifting the legs by engaging the glutes and hamstrings and supporting your lower back with a bit of the lower abdomen muscles engagement. It's like you're holding the belly button in. So you're not lifting the legs with your neck or upper back. Exhale the legs down. Bring the hands on the sides of the rib cage and let's flow into the child pose, stretching the arms forward. So this is the active child pose. Exhale, and then let us come into tabletop position. Just step the left foot forward, move the hips forward, press the right hip forward. So a bit of the hip flexor stretch. Bring the hands to the knee and then lift your arms and gaze up toward the ceiling, opening the chest, creating a bit of a back bend here. Exhale. Bring the hands to the floor, tuck the right toes and step into the downward dog. Exhale. Every time today in downward dog, emphasize the size of the body length. On inhale, flow into plank, drop the knees and come all the way down. Exhale. This time, take your arms in letter Y and maybe also keep your legs a little bit wider. If you feel this, lift your legs off the floor, lift your arms off the floor, keep the head between the arms and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Bring the hands on the sides of the rib cage and press yourself into the child pose. exhale. Take in the breath here, and then come to the downward dog for one exhale, and then walk forward to the front of the mat, hang here, and then slowly roll up into standing position. Exhale. So let us go to another flow where we will again use the band for some explorative twist and side bends. With inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, folding forward into the passive fold. Step your left foot back into wide lunge, comfortable lunge, where you feel stable. Pick up the band and lift the torso up. So find that you're using the back leg for support, because we're going to be here for some time. So you will not collapse into the front leg only. Take the band in front of the chest and let's twist to the right. So as you're twisting to the right, you definitely feel that your hips are long. You don't even need to do anything special, because the left leg in extension will lock your hips. So you're rotating only the upper body here. Return back to the center and let's go to the left. So like we had it on the kneeling position, you have space to rotate your hips a little bit, but keep your knee facing front so you feel much more space to rotate. Return back to the center. Bring the band down to the floor and step into downward dog. Exhale. On exhale, flow into plank. Drop the knees and come all the way down. Exhale. This time, let's bring the arms into cactus pose. 90-degree bent elbow. You're not lifting the legs this time from the floor, but they still working the same way. So your glutes and hamstrings working. You're pressing the top of the feet to the floor. Lift the chest and take your forearms off the floor. Don't lift your chin high. Try to align the head between the forearms. Press the forearms up toward the ceiling as much as you can without bringing elbows close to the rib cage. So keep 90 degree. Exhale, come down. Bring the hands on the sides of the rib cage and press yourself into the child pose. Exhale. Take in the breath and then just coming into the tabletop position, then tucking the toes, come into the downward dog. Exhale, and then from this downward dog, finding the step of the left foot forward, picking up the band and lifting yourself up. So let us again, taking a couple of moments to settle your lunge here so you're stable. Bring the band in front of the chest and rotate to the left, aligning the shoulders in the center of the band. Back leg here is support. If you have your body weight on the front thigh, you're going to be very soon fatigued here and you would like to come off the position. Use the back leg. Unfold back to the center and then go to the right. So here you have a little bit more space because hips are open here and you feel like you're almost like in a warrior two position already. Return back to the center, bring the band to the floor and step into downward dog. Exhale. On exhale, flow into plank, drop the knees, come all the way down, exhale. This time we're practicing the traditional cobra with the hands on the sides of the rib cage, pointed toes, join legs, lift the chest off the floor. Make sure that shoulders are not lifting to the ears. You're squeezing the shoulder blades and using all those back muscles, all those back extensors to lift the torso rather than using the hands. Then press the hands to the mat and press yourself into the child pose. Exhale. And then come into the downward dog. Holding the downward dog this time. 4 or 5 breaths. Lengthening through the sides of the body. Again, building this awareness of the frame that a side of the body tissues are creating for us. And next inhale, look forward, walk to the front of the mat, hand here for the breath, and then flow up into standing position. Exhale, taking the breath. We have one more flow. With inhale, lift the arms up. Bring the palms together. Exhale, hinge forward. Stepping the left foot forward into lunge and picking up the band. Coming here. Grounding through the back leg, anchoring yourself here. Taking the arms overhead this time. And we'll come into the right side bend. So again, trying to keep the head between the arms, right knee straight forward, and you might feel stretch in the left hip flexor, again, all the way toward the left shoulder. Return back to the center, balance yourself, and then go to the left. So going to the left, you might have a tendency to drop the right knee in. Try to hold it, and it's like your inner thigh is resisting the change of the center of the gravity here, because arms goes to the left. Return back to the center, release the band down to the floor, and step into the downward dog. Exhale, long spine. On next inhale, flow into plank. Drop the knees down to the floor. Exhale here. Again, having the hands on the sides of the rib cage. Roll the shoulders back. Strong legs. Lift the chest off the floor. Then press yourself into the child pose for the contour pose. Exhale. Taking the breath. Come into the downward dog just for one breath, to have a space to step your left foot forward. Grounding, anchoring through the right leg, lifting the torso up, taking the band overhead. When you're ready, coming to the left side. Bend, controlling your balance here. A lot of the core strength needed here, and of course a lot of the leg strength needed here. Return back to the center. Going to the right. And hold the balance here. Use the back leg. So try not to rotate the torso facing the floor. Try to keep your torso facing the plane in front of you. Return back to the center. Bring the band down to the floor. Step into downward dog. Exhale. And then look forward. Walk to the front of the mat. And slowly roll up. You can pick up the band with you. Slowly roll up into standing. Exhale. Okay, great. We survived those three flows, and we'll have the balancing segment here, still using the same twists that we had before. So let us have a band in front of the chest, and we first, just to check how we feel on one leg, we will bring the body weight to the right leg, maintaining the right hip stable. We'll lift the left knee off the floor. That's it. That's the first one, just to connect the brain to the right leg, to find the core strength, the hip stability, ankle stability, checking here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's release. We'll do the same on the left. Bring the body weight to the left foot, arms in front, and lift the knee. Actually, having the band might help you. If you just slightly stretching the band, you're going to be more engaged in the core, lifting the knee high, flexing the foot. Try not to lean back, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Shake your legs. Okay. So now add in the side bend to same position. So bring the body weight to the right leg, engage in the glute to stabilize the hip, lifting the left knee, but this time you're holding the arms overhead. And when you're finding that you're stable, try to come into the left side bend. So left knee is up, you go into the left. Go into the left, strong right leg. Go into the left as much as you can, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back, still holding the knee up, and release. Very good. Shake your legs. Let's try the other side. So bring the body weight to the left foot, lifting the right knee up, taking arms overhead, and when you're ready, go to the right side. Lift the knee high, holding. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back and release. Shake your legs. For the next one, you don't really need to go low like that. You might hold yourself higher. I want you to have a straight line from the heel to the crown of the head. So bring the body weight to the right foot and take the band overhead and lift your left leg. Keep your left foot flexed. Pull the heel into the hip socket. So your hips, your shoulders, and the band is all parallel to the frontal plane. And now start opening yourself to the left. Opening yourself to the left as much as you're able to hold the balance. So the left foot now is turned all the way to the left. Hips are open, and you might use the band to stretch arms. That's going to help you to activate your obliques and hold balance here. See if you can return back to face the front and release. I know it was challenging, but we're going to have even more challenging one after that. So it's not the hardest one. So let us shake the legs and bring the body weight to the left foot, lift to the right heel, take the arm. So you don't need to go low, but you can, of course, you can go all the way here if you feel yourself strong enough. And when you found the position, hips, and just check, understand that right now we're facing the frontal plane, hips, shoulders, and band. And then start opening yourself to the right, turning the hip. The lead here is a right hip, right leg, and then you're trying to go with the shoulder, and band is still over the head, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return back and release. Shake your legs. Okay, and the last one we're going to practice today is the twist. So in the same position that we were here, we will try to rotate the torso to the right. You cannot rotate your hips in this position to the right. So hips will stay facing the front like we had in the other position, and you will be trying to rotate the chest, and you align your right arm and the leg and only lift the right arm, okay? So let us try that. So you bring the body weight to the right foot, lifting the left leg moderately, so you don't need to go high. Keep your arms above the head, so your hips are square to the front, and you're trying to rotate the torso, only the upper body to the right. Only the upper body. Your hips are parallel to the floor, so only exploring how far you can twist and hold. Very good here, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rotate to the center. Hopefully you can hold the balance and release. So only one left. the rotation to the left. Bring the body weight to the left leg. Lift your right leg. Take your arms overhead and explore the rotation of the torso. So right arm and right leg are aligned. So you're not moving your torso to the left. You align here, rotating. Might be very, very minor rotation. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return back to the center and release. Excellent. Let us come all the way down to the floor. We will use the band, so keep it in your hands. But before we continue some restorative twist, let us come here in the position and just maybe release your arms. You're welcome to keep your knees bent. Catch your breath. I also have to catch my breath. It's a very, very challenging balance that we tried today. And when you're ready, you would like to lift your right leg up and bring the band around the right foot. Extend your left leg and bring your left hand to the left hip to secure it. Extend your right arm up, and where you can reach the band with a straight elbow, that's where you're holding the band. You're not pulling. You're just securing here your leg. And when you're ready, you will take your right leg to the side. You would be able to go lower with your leg if you externally rotate your right hip. So that means that your right toe is looking toward your shoulder. Keep your left side, left shoulder and left hip grounded and hold here. So you might use your right biceps here to just secure the leg. Try your best not to rotate with the left hip off the floor. Take the right leg up, bring the band to the left hand, bring the right arm as the anchor to the floor. This time you're allowing the right hip to come off the floor, but the right shoulder remains. Twist is happening in thoracic spine here. You feel nice stretch around the right hip. You can turn the head toward the right side. And return the leg up. And we'll change. So before we change and lift the left leg, readjust your hips and shoulders to return back on the midline. Then take your left leg up, bend around, extend the right leg, hold the band with a straight left arm, right hand on the hip. And when you're ready, drop the left leg to the left, maintaining the right side on the floor. Externally rotate your left hip as much as you can. That will help you to take the leg into abduction here. Taking the left leg up, hold and lead the leg across, left arm in T position. You allowing to take the left hip with you, but keeping the left shoulder on the ground. Your best to hold the knee straight. return the left leg up, and you can take the band away. Again, set your hips and shoulders back comfortably on the floor. Take your legs up, take your arms up and shake them. Relax all the muscles and just shake actively, as active as you can. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let us release the legs and arms down to the floor. Find in your Shavasana, if you feel that you need support for the head to maintain neutral neck position, please have a couple of layers a folded blanket or towel under the back of the head. Take your arms as wide as you feel is right. Take your legs as wide as it feels right. Force a couple of exhales to take all this effort away from the body and mind. We had some very challenging asanas to practice, variation that needed a lot of a focus and a lot of a strength. Relax the whole body down to the floor. Scan the back of the body. And just visualize your spine is now all released. Any knots that you had previously, all released. We worked on tissues that support in the spine. And as you're relaxing, all the tension that maybe we felt in the beginning of the practice is gone now, hopefully. You keeping the belly relaxed and just observing the breath coming through the nostrils in, through the nostrils out. You try mindfully just stay restful in the mind, in the body, in the breath. When you're ready to start moving fingers, toes, circle wrists and ankles, bend your knees and elbows. Maybe you're bringing knees to your chest and rocking from side to side. Start the movement slowly, feeling the body moving again. On some point when you're ready, roll to one side, have a moment on the side, and then with the help of the arm, bring yourself into seated position. It could be cross-leg position, but if it's not your favorite, you're welcome to sit in a different pose. Bring your hands resting on the knees. Maybe close your eyes. Allow some length in the spine. When you're ready, bring the hands in front of the heart. Thank yourself for practicing. Thank yourself for having time and energy to step on the mat and mindfully practice the movements. Take any positive experience, positive vibe from this practice to be your guide for the rest of the day. Namaste.